Okay, well, I think we are good to go. And for some reason, is it showing you guys a big picture of a telephone instead of me? That's what I see.
Sheri, that's what it looks like whenever you're the speaker. You always see the last person that made noise on.
Okay.
We can see your face when you're out in the wind blowing, but then when you talk, it goes to the
I probably need to. I probably need to go inside, but my house is a little crazy, so I thought I'd sneak outside.
Whatever.
Perdita, you're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm driving, but I said it's not bad.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Good. All right. Well, then I'll get started. All right. So I have notes here, and I love when I have notes and they look like chicken scratch because I keep adding stuff to it. You know, you make your notes and then you listen to it and you read it and you're like, oh shit, I should add that. I should add that. So I always just pray over my notes that something good comes out of it. So I love this book, and I'm kind of grateful. I mean, my chapter was so short, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, man, how did I come up with 3 pages of notes off of such a short little chapter? But and so hopefully it'll be a shorter call today for you guys. But I love this because I feel like this is where we often make mistakes with new business builders, is by not painting a true picture of what it's going to take in this business. And then people come in as those posers or those amateurs, and then they say network marketing doesn't work or Arbonne doesn't work. And I think a lot of times either us as new business builders paint an expectation of hype to people, and we're not being 100% real with people. Either that, or, I mean, I think people see the excitement of it and they just jump on board with whatever they want to believe. And so I wrote down here that I feel like one of the ways that you guys, the Amtrak runs like a few blocks back behind my house, and it is going by. And I'm like, of course, what are the odds of a train not going by while I'm doing this call? Not very high. So, okay. So anyway, that's the one thing I wrote at the very top, was being real with people when we do those coffee dates or when people meet with us about the business. Can't hear it though. Okay, hold on. I see you. Can't hear it though. Can everyone hear? It doesn't show that I'm muted. Is it because of the background noise?
Hey, maybe Sheri, they have their speaker off, because I can hear you perfect.
Okay. All right, sorry. So yeah. So I think that's one of the things that stuck out to me, is I feel like often, especially when we're new at the business and we've just been recently introduced, I know whenever I was new at Arbonne, I was so excited about it that I felt like I wanted to go scream it from the mountaintops. And sometimes we can sound like that hype when we paint the picture of all the beauty of this industry, but we forget to paint the picture of the reality of this industry too, because you can't be a sissy and succeed in this business. Like, this is not a business for the faint of heart. And you do see those people, and I feel like those people that want to come in here and get rich quick, they're the ones that give our industry such a bad rep, because they jump in. How many of you guys know people who jumped into a business, a home-based business, did it for, however many weeks, and then they were done and you never hear anything else about it? And you bought stuff from them. I mean, right now we have Cutco knives in my kitchen that we bought from a family member who did Cutco for, and I don't even think Cutco's really multi-level marketing. I don't know what they are, but we bought the Cutco knives, and they did it long enough for all the family members to buy the Cutco knives, which I love the Cutco knives, but then they were done. And that was I had other family members that had done multiple multi-level marketing businesses. And when they were done, after a few weeks, they were done because they didn't get rich quick, I guess. And it's that poser mentality, I think, that causes people to not succeed in this industry. And I think that's where we are a little bit different, because we aren't just a bunch of hype in Arbonne. And we have been trained to be real with people and to teach people reality. And I'm so grateful for our team, because we aren't just hype. And I feel like we are the cream of the crop because we are a little bit more real with the people that we bring in and that we meet with our businesses. But I know when you're new in this business, it is easy to have a little bit more hype in your tone in your voice. And it's okay to be excited. But I think the key is being excited, but having the bookends. Like, these are the possibilities. These are the real stories. And I think we tell those stories of like, can you believe Carlita earned her Mercedes in 4 months? And so we paint this expectation of what can happen, but then we never go back and tell the facts of like the average person who is consistent gets there in 12 months. And so then people after, a few months start feeling like a failure, and we don't tell them exactly what Carlita did to get there in 4 months either. And so I think being real with people from the very beginning helps to keep people from becoming those posers. But we all have had posers, and we have all probably experienced people in other businesses who have been posers and who did whatever business it was for a small season and they were out. And I feel like, the statistic where they say, I wish I had the statistics. I was trying to look for them and I couldn't find it. And I can't remember what book it was. I think it might've been the first year in network marketing, where it talks about like 80-something% or 90-something% of people who start a network marketing business never succeed. And then it went on to say, and most of those people quit their business before week 6. So you guys, that's like the life of a fruit fly. But of the people who stick with their network marketing businesses for up to 10 years, those people, like the percentage is like 90-something% that will be at the top level. So you guys, I love those statistics because what it shows, and I like sharing that statistic with people when I meet with them for coffee, because it goes to show the reason why people don't succeed is because they quit. You can't fail if you don't quit. And if you continue to grow and learn, you will succeed. And so I think we as consultants and business builders can make a difference in the lifespan of our team members if we're a little bit more realistic. And I would rather someone decide not to get started because I was a little bit real with them than to want to come in here and get rich quick and then fail and feel like Arbonne didn't work or feel like our industry doesn't work, because our industry works. You just have to work in our industry. That's why it's called work marketing.
Will you mute everybody, please? Somebody doesn't have their phone muted.
Yes.
You'll just hit all. That will help.
Okay. There we go. I think everyone's muted now. Thank you. Okay. So the one thing I wrote down here was that I was so grateful that when I got started with Arbonne, one of the conversations I remember having with Carlita in the very beginning was that I needed to get employee mindset out of my mind. And I'm really grateful for that. And I look back now at some of the people who got started in the beginning of my business, and I didn't tell them some of the same things Carlita told me that got me grounded in the beginning. And I have learned from that. And that's one of the things I like to make sure I tell people now. Yesterday, I had a coffee date with a gal, and I want people to know that this isn't a get rich quick. This is a business. And if you treat it like a business, it'll pay you like a business. But if we have that employee mindset of right now gratification, and we live in a country where everybody wants right now gratification, like everybody wants fast food mentality. We want it fast, we want it now. And if it isn't fast and now, then we're done. And I'm doing a continuation of John Maxwell's 15 Laws of Leadership. He had a continuation course that we could do on your purpose. Something about maximizing your purpose, or anyway, I'm on week 2. I just started it, or week 3, but he was talking about how one of the reasons why he's talking about our habits, and our habits are really why we either succeed or don't succeed. And he talked about the habit of your thoughts first, but then he talked about how one of the reasons why people don't succeed is because we want this right now gratification. We don't have long-term, we don't have that long-term vision. We want it right now. And if we don't get it right now, then we're done. Or if we don't see that right now return, we're not going to work as hard tomorrow because I worked really hard today and I didn't see anything from it. So I'm just not going to work so hard tomorrow. And I think especially the younger generation, there's a lot of entitlement in this younger generation coming up. And I think painting that vision and encouraging them that you're not going to see that right now gratification. And I remember Carlita said something to me about you might not see much of a paycheck for about 6 months. And she was making a great paycheck. So at that time, whenever I was talking to her, and she had made a pretty great paycheck at 4 months. So for her to tell me that, she was being real with me. You're not going to see that great of a paycheck until you have invested into this. And so I like to tell people that still. I tell people you're not going to see that great of a paycheck until about 6 months of consistency. And you guys, the key is consistency. And I actually had that written down later on in my notes, but people like want to know what's that secret sauce. And the secret sauce is consistency. If you're not consistent, you're not going to see the same results of the people who have been consistent. And just yesterday in my coffee date, I was drawing out for this new business builder. I said, you know, people come into this industry and they think I'll work really hard for 2 months, and then they take a break for a month and they think they're going to pick up at month 2 where they left off. But what they're doing is they're starting all the way back at the beginning. In that first 2 months of hard work, you might as well just flush it down the toilet, because now you're back at square one. And so the secret is stop going and then moving all the way back, and going forward and moving all the way back. Keep moving forward. And I think that's our job as consultants to say, this is what you can have. This is what this business can offer you. But this is what it takes. And be real with people. So yeah, I was just writing here that I'm so grateful that Carlita gave me that long-term vision of a business mindset versus an employee mindset, and putting those goggles on to see long-term instead of having just those short-term vision glasses on. And then the amateur part, I love that he talks about, he said, you know, when you're an amateur, you think you're just going to get lucky because you find that one amazing person. You guys, that was my view of this industry, because everyone I knew who had done this industry, they're always looking for that next person. Like, who's their person? They're going to find that person and get that person. I can't stand, even still to this day, like when I'm doing coaching calls with people and they're like, if I could just get that person. I can't stand that word. Like, it just makes me feel like, ugh. I don't like, people aren't there for us to get them. And it makes me want to cry. I love people, and I never wanted to get anybody. And that was what made me hesitate to do this business, was because I'd seen people go get other people for themselves because they wanted to grow their business or they wanted to grow their paycheck. And my parents were one of those people that got. And my parents are great people. And someone had them on their list of someone they needed to get for their business. For their sake. And once they got them, they had them invest all this money and never really trained them and taught them. And I just saw that as like just such a ugly way of pursuing people in this business. And we're not here to get, it makes me cry. We're not here to get people. We are here to look for the people who are looking for us. We are here to serve people. And so getting lucky because you found that one ace, if that's your mindset, you guys, and there's a lot of people who have that mindset, a lot. And I think maybe our heart is good in all of it, but I really want to encourage all of us to check our heart in our attitudes when we're talking to people, when we're pursuing people, when we're interacting with people. Is it all about you, or me? Or is it truly about how we can make a difference in people? Because we're not here to get anybody or to get lucky because we found that one ace. We're here to share. I'm going to mute one more time. We're here to share our bond, to share what we have, and then to see who is looking for us. And so getting lucky, if you could get that one ace. You guys, if that's your mindset, I want to encourage all of you guys, take that mindset away and stop worrying about getting people, and instead start praying. I mean, one of the prayers I pray a lot is that God will bring the people into my business that are supposed to be there. I've made a list of the qualities of the people that I would love to have on my team. So yeah, if I could have people on my team that have a heart for people, that are selfless people, that have a heart to make a difference in the lives of other people, that are passionate about growing themselves, that are selfless people, that have a heart for their families, that are servant-hearted people. Those are the qualities that I'm looking for. So when I see someone who has those qualities and I'm like, man, I don't just want them on my team because they know people, because there's a lot of people who know people, but there are also those people who maybe, I mean, you can know a lot of people and not be a quality person. And so we want the people who are supposed to be on our team, not the people who we want to get for our team. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but you guys, I like to pray, God, bring the people on my team who are supposed to be there, and the people who are not supposed to be there, just let them not be there. But then also, as I'm listening in 3D, help me to be aware of the people that you have planted me in this conversation, that I'm supposed to be serving and helping. And when we're listening in 3D, instead of worrying about our agenda, people will tell us why they need Arbonne. When we're listening for their dreams, their desires, and their discontents, they will tell us all day long why they need Arbonne. And then it's our job to then turn around and say, you know what? I don't even know if what I'm doing is something that would be a fit for you. But when you said this, when you said that your job is killing you and you wish you could be home with your kids, I couldn't help but thinking, gosh, you need to at least hear about this. And even if it ends up not being something for you right now, it might be for 5 years down the road, but at least you'll know there's options for you. And I think you'd be great at it, but you would obviously have to make that decision for yourself. It's not about getting people, it's about serving people and helping people. And you guys, when our mindset shifts, and this is going to the pro, when our mindset shifts from our agenda to how we can serve people, then what happens is you do get lucky because people will want to be on your team because you care about them instead of just yourself, because no one wants to be a number on your list. Nobody wants that. And so it's our job to figure out how we can serve people instead of how they can serve our needs. The other one is timing. He said he always worried about, getting lucky. The second thing he worried about is an amateur. And so you guys, if you notice any of these tendencies in your conversation or in your mindset, these are things to work on to switch. And one of them, and I hear these. So when I was listening to these, I'm like, man, I hear these all the time with people, timing. This is another one that a lot of people who jump from business to business. It's all about the timing. You got to be in at the right time. And am I in at the right time? And there's just a lot of hype around timing. And the other one is positioning. Am I on the right person's team? I've even had people on my team, well, maybe if I was signed up underneath of that person. You guys, you are where you're at for a reason. God put you there for a reason. And I am so thankful, which first of all, if you're in Carlita Nelson organization, you better be so thankful that you are in this organization. And you guys, there's some great teams out there, but I am telling you, our organization, Carlita Nelson's organization, is blessed by God. And I am so, so thankful that I got put in this organization. And whenever I first got started with Arbonne, I was introduced to Arbonne, and I hadn't signed up yet. I was just kind of feeling it out. I didn't know anything about Arbonne. I didn't know if it was a scam. I didn't know if there was a white Mercedes. And I just was searching to see if there was any meetings or anything going on in my area that I could go get some more information from. And I remember that there was a meeting in St. Louis. And so I called the phone number on the flyer that I found. I think it might have been on the website. I don't know how I got this information, but I called the number to see if I could just come to one of their meetings. And it was an NVP in Arbonne. And that NVP was like, you can come, but you really need to just sign up underneath of us. And really started putting on the pressure for me to switch from the girl that had already introduced me to Arbonne to sign up underneath of them, because I would have a local team to support me. I mean, it was like a lot of pressure. And at the end of it, I didn't even want to go to her meeting. I'm just like, I felt the unethical side of it right off the bat. And she was kind of acting like it's no big deal. You're just doing what's best for you. And you will feel that yuck. And I'm so thankful that I had that yuck feeling, because God chose me to be here. And I had people pulling at me to go somewhere else. But you are where you are for a reason. And the other thing I want to say is, don't ever be that person to somebody else. If someone else has already talked to them, make sure you send them back to that person. You'll have people who will say, no, I don't want to go with that person, maybe because they see some things. And then I always say, if that's the case, will you just tell them? I've had that happen one time. I will not sign someone up until they go to that person and say, hey, listen, I'm choosing to sign up underneath this person. I want to be a person of ethics, and I want what goes around comes around. And so, but that's positioning. You are where you are for a reason. And just be open-armed to people. If people want to plug into you, obviously I don't go do parties for people. I have done that. My OBGYN, the nurse that delivered my first baby, her friend had been talking to her about Arbonne, and her friend lived in Kansas City. And I was in massive labor and the epidural wasn't coming fast enough and my husband was sleeping. So I was talking 90 to nothing to this nurse, and she was like an angel to me. But I prospected her and told her all about Arbonne, and I told her, you need to call your friend as soon as you leave here, and you need to tell her you want to sign up with Arbonne. I'll even go do your launch parties for you. And she did. She signed up under her friend because it was her friend. And gosh, I would want her friend to do the same thing for me. And I actually did. I went and did 3 launch parties for her and helped her get her business started. And she's not even under me. But you guys, I got to plant a seed there, and I'm sure it's going to come back to me someday. I'm sure it already has come back to me. But I felt great about myself because I did that. You don't always have to go do that for people. She delivered my baby for me, and so it was like a payback, and she was an amazing nurse. But those are the things. You are where you're supposed to be, and you have been prospected by the person who prospected you for a reason. And so refer people back. But positioning, you guys, you are where you're at. And don't question it. Know that you have been put where you're at for a reason. And if you wonder, like, maybe if I was signed up under this person, we all have the same recipe for success, and it's what we do with it. It's not about your upline. It's not about your sideline. It's not about your downline. It's not about what someone's doing for you or not doing for you. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. We have got to work. Luckily, we have a great support system. But truly, if it's meant to be, it's up to us. And the other thing he said was shortcuts. If you're an amateur, you're always looking for those shortcuts. These ones make me laugh because I see these so much. And I remember listening to Linda Parker, and she talked about the McDonald's drive-through mentality. And she talked about how, you know, if you go through the McDonald's drive-thru, you're always looking. Oh, no, I'm getting stories mixed up. She talked about, you know, if you bought a McDonald's franchise, you wouldn't go, and maybe this was Carlita that talked about this one. Linda Parker did the whole McDonald's drive-thru one. But if you bought a McDonald's franchise, you wouldn't say, oh, you know what, I'm going to change this. I'm going to change the arches. I'm going to change all this. You wouldn't do that because that would just be dumb. You'd be starting your own business instead of buying into a franchise that has proven success. You would follow the system that works. And in Arbonne, it's the same thing. Follow the system that works. And so many people want to say, well, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do this. And we spend so much energy. I see new people do it all the time. New people come in and they think they know better, or they think they know a simpler system. But Carlita really hammered that home. And you guys, I think we need to learn from Carlita. She is upfront and tells you exactly how it is. And I think sometimes we want to like tiptoe around because we don't want people to feel like we're trying to be too bossy. But we're just being real and assertive with people. And I've tiptoed around so much that now I'm sick of tiptoeing around, because then I feel like I have to go back and correct everything that I didn't say to people in the beginning. So now I'm like, what are the things that I'm not saying that I need to be saying in the beginning? And so tell the truth. Be a truth teller. Be a real person that tells the facts. People don't want fake, and they don't want you to sugarcoat for them anyway. So tell people, don't reinvent the wheel. If you want my help, if you want the success that I have, follow the system that has proven success. And then once you're national vice president, if you want to go reinvent the wheel, go do it. But at that point, they're not going to, because they're going to know the system works. So the shortcuts, the shiny objects are like, oh, you know, and I see it. People are like, oh, well, what is that team doing? Why are they succeeding so fast? We get so sidetracked by all these people and all these Facebook posts and everything that we start questioning, is what we're doing what really works? But you guys, what works is consistently being consistent with the recipe for success. That works. Try that for 6 months. And if it's not working, then talk to one of us. But I'm telling you, if you're consistent with the system works. And you'll be one of those people that people are looking at saying, what are they doing? Why are they succeeding? And it's because you're being consistent with the recipe for success, and you're not being distracted by all the shiny objects. So stop looking for shortcuts. The shortcut is consistency. You guys, consistency is the secret. And Devin Holman says that all the time. She's like, people always want to know what the catch is. The catch is consistency. If you want the success, you have to be consistent. So consistency with what is what I want to end with. So if you want to be a pro, you know, he talks about you have to be investing about 10,000 hours of training into a specific topic to become a professional. That's according to whoever that guy is that wrote the book. But so if we want to be professionals, and he broke that down, that's 7 years of 4 hours a day of studying our industry. And you guys, studying is not just reading, it's practicing. A lot of times, you know, when you go to become a doctor or nurse, you're not just learning, you're also practicing. And I listened to a training, or I think it might have been a sermon series a few years ago, and he talked about practice. You know that saying, practice makes perfect? the other part to that is practice makes permanent. And if you're practicing something the wrong way and you're not doing things the right way, what you're doing is you're grooving a permanent system that doesn't work. And what we need to do is we need to be super good at learning the skills that work. And if something's not working, tweak it before you keep going and ask for help. Blow your upline's phone up. I mean, we work with the people who are working with us. I don't sit and stalk people to keep them busy. If you want it, blow me up. If you don't want it, I'm going to go work my own business until I find someone who's willing to blow me up. I would call Carnita and leave her messages. I'm sure she got so sick of like looking at her phone and saying, oh my gosh, 7 voice messages from Sheri Nickell. And I would leave her detailed voice messages because she was still working, plus working her full-time business. And she would call me back and leave me voice messages if she would miss me and say, page 4 of the manual, read that. If you don't understand it, get back with me. And she would answer my questions. But she got back with me because I was keeping her busy. So she knew I wanted this because I was stalking her. So I tell my team, when you're getting started, tell your new business builders, they have freedom to stalk you. Because I work with the people who keep me busy. I would rather you call me and ask me than try to figure it out on your own because we've already learned it. So give your team, your new members especially, permission to stalk you, or those who are learning and growing, because so many times I think they don't feel like they have that permission to stalk us. And then they struggle in their own like insecurities or frustrations. And so the consistency I feel like we need to have is with our recipe for success, obviously, but I feel like the main ones, if we are super consistent with the bookends, the scheduling your presentations, scheduling your activities, and it's not just presentations, you guys, it's our presentations, our healthy living parties, our nutritional parties, our makeup parties, whatever it is. And then coffee dates, scheduling those coffee dates. If we're not consistent with scheduling coffee dates, it's not just one category. It's not just presentations. It's scheduling presentations, scheduling your coffee dates, scheduling one-on-ones. If you can't get someone to a party, schedule a one-on-one. If you can't get someone to learn about the nutrition in a party setting, schedule a one-on-one with them. One-on-ones are powerful for nutrition because you can actually talk individually to people, and then it turns into a presentation because then they want their friends and their family to hear about it, and they want their husband to hear about it. And so turning that one-on-one into a small group presentation happens very easily. And then the other one is sample drop-offs. And I know Carlita has hammered this home a little bit, but you guys, I've been so passionate about this and I've been so bummed that they're on back order. I'm like, no, come back. So, but sample packets, you guys, I am in Arbonne today because of a sample packet. If I would not have got that sample packet, I wouldn't be in Arbonne today. And it was truly trying that sample packet, but not just mailing off sample packets, because I didn't try my sample packet. It sat tucked away for weeks until I learned what made Arbonne different. So you have to learn what makes Arbonne different and share the Arbonne difference with people and say, this was my key from that point on. Because when I started Arbonne, I did the same thing. I actually would throw out sample packets to people hoping to get someone to try it and give me their response. But I was like, hey, you should try this sample packet. I used to clean houses. I gave a sample packet to every single person that I cleaned houses with. And I would go back to their house to go clean it, and there would be sample packets still sitting on their counter after 2 weeks. I'm like, what? That's liquid gold. So I had to learn the hard way. Don't just hand sample packets out. Hand them a sample packet, but ask for their opinion. So that's what I started doing every time, still to this day, when I give a sample packet out, I do the opinion approach. I would love your opinion on this. What's a good time in a few days, like maybe on Thursday or Friday, I can call you back and walk them through how to use the sample packet. I flip it open, I walk them through it. So they're not like, oh, I didn't have time to sit and read. You hear this all the time. You give someone a sample. I didn't have time to sit and read the instructions. I'll get to it eventually. I don't want to leave them with any excuses. So I'm like, it's super simple. I open it up. There's numbers on them. I explain it to them so they know it's simple. So just tonight when you go home, just open it up and sit it on your counter like this. And then start using it tonight and use it tomorrow morning. And then in 3 days, I will call you and you can let me know what you think. And take a before picture, especially with the new skincare. Tell them, take a before picture, because in 3 days, I promise you're going to see a difference. And they will. Our skincare line right now is flipping amazing, and people are going to see those results. And then once they fall in love with the product, you guys, I wasn't really a party hoster, but as I learned about the business, I started being interested, because a lot of people don't have time. I didn't have time to host parties, but because I didn't have time, I needed a different job. I wanted more time. I just didn't have more time. I didn't have more time or money. And Arbonne was something I was looking for, even though I didn't know I was looking for it. So you guys, I know I'm over time. So scheduling those appointments, and then you guys, the self-development is where we practice too. We have to grow our skills. You guys, this whole business is skills, skills, skills. And if we are not working to master our skills, the skill of hostess coaching, the skill of making phone calls. You guys, it's a skill to make phone calls. The tone in your voice, the smile, you can say the right words and say them completely wrong. And so it's all skill, because some people will follow the whole outline for making their phone calls and they still get no, 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 no. It's not just the words, it's the tone in your voice, it's smiling, it's all skills. And if you're struggling, you guys master the skill. Scheduling, sharing, master sharing at your presentations, master your story, master your close of your party, practice, practice, practice. Master hostess coaching. These are all areas, I'm telling you, I struggled, and I still catch myself struggling with them. And I'll have to go back and tweak my story. I've been doing this. June is my 13-year anniversary, and I just want to plug this in there. I know I'm way over time. 2 minutes over right now. But June is my 13-year anniversary with Arbonne. I started my business the last week of June, because once I decided to get started, Carly just said, don't wait till July, just get started now. Start booking your presentations. And you guys, I did. Started booking my presentations, and I did some one-on-ones in between there, got some sample packets into some people's hands. I only ended up executing one party. 3 of my 4 canceled. Or, well, 2 of them no one showed up to. Is my personal launch parties. No one showed up to them. Woohoo! So I lined up my pillows and I practiced on them. I had one party that my mom scheduled for me, and only my granny, my 80-year-old granny that lives with her, showed up. So that didn't really count. And then I had one successful party that was $1,290 of sales. And I had done some one-on-ones, plus ordered some products for myself, just like my RE9 set. And I ended up going in strong qual for district manager, and I finished in July. You guys, in 5 weeks, I finished district. If you have people getting started, my girl I met with yesterday, I'm like, let's get started right away. Don't wait. I started the last week of June, and this is what happened. Paint that realistic vision, but paint what they need to be doing right away to get started and get moving. So skills, work on your skills. Everything is a skill. I heard so many no's. I would cry. I called Cardita about month 4 ready to quit because everyone had said no, and she helped me work through verbiage. It's skill. And if we are not working on our skills and we're struggling, that's why we're struggling, is because we're not investing into it. Treat it like a profession, you guys. This industry will blow your mind if you will treat it and respect it the way that we should. And I'm so blessed with network marketing. I'm so blessed for the blessings that have come my way. This is a huge month for us. We are hopefully, I would keep saying next month, but our adoption is really close to being final. And we're in the process of setting a court date for that, which will be hopefully in the end of June here, this part of June. And we are moving into a new home, and we're selling this house. And so we have a lot of transitions going on with us, but I say everything big happens for me in June. And in the midst of chaos, you guys, I'm launching a new business builder. I have a calendar. I have a personal 6 parties, which I technically need more than that, but I have 6. I've had a few cancel on me, but I'm picking up my phone and I'm working consistently, even in the midst of chaos, because you can't let distractions keep you distracted. And when you're consistent, even in the midst of distractions, that's when you'll start seeing huge fruit in your business. So don't lose momentum. Stay consistent, work the system, even in the midst of crazy, and you'll be blown away at how your business will become an amazing, fantastic business for you and your family. And you will become a network marketing professional, and you get paid amazing along the way while you're learning to become a professional, because I am not even close to professional yet, but I've learned a lot and I continue to learn and grow. And so anyway, I'm done. I love you guys, and I hope everything was, there's still like tons of notes here. I don't think I looked at half of them. But anyway, hopefully something came across good. And I hope you guys have a fantastic Saturday. Pick up your phone, work on your skills, and work on scheduling your calendar, and you will become a professional. So, all right. Have a great rest of your Saturday. If I can figure out how to stop this recording, I will.